Hi, and welcome to S for Science. And does immortality exist? This is Jonathan in a photo from 1900 when he was 68 years old. Currently, Jonathan is still alive and he's 190 years old. He lives in the St. Helena Island in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's believed to be the oldest vertebrate that exists. This is a Leiopathes coral. A specimen of this species that was found was 4,265 years old. This is a very long-lived species, which also holds the record for the longest-lived animal that currently lives. However, much remains to be explored on the ocean, and there may be species that are even more long-lived. This is Methuselah. It is 5,064 years old, and it's considered the oldest living being that doesn't make reproductive cloning. This tree lived the origin and the end of civilizations as the Chinese, Roman, and Maya. This tree was born before the Great Pyramid of Giza was even built. The specific location of Methuselah is unknown because the US government wants to protect it from vandalism. That's why this photo is not it. However, it is a tree of the same species that also has a very high age. This is Pando, and it has the incredible age of 80,000 years. It's the oldest plant that exists, and it's an organism which performs reproductive cloning. That means that all the trunks that you see belong to the same organism. Pando, during the last 80,000 years, has been growing many trunks, which have been replaced by new ones. So the trees that you see maybe only have a few years of life, but the general organism, Pando, is 80,000 years old. A proof that it's actually the same organism is that the DNA from all the trunks is exactly the same. 250 million years old. This is the absolute record for any living being and belongs to a bacteria that was revived in a laboratory. This bacteria had suffered extreme conditions a long time ago. This caused the bacteria, to protect itself, cease all metabolic activity, closing itself in a capsule. The bacteria itself was still alive and stayed like that for over 250 million years. When they recreated its optimal condition to live, it came back to life. These are examples of the oldest living things on the planet. But is there any immortal? This is the Torritopsis dorni. This jellyfish has a special life cycle. Normally, jellyfish are born in a polyp phase. After that, the polyp becomes a jellyfish in its adult state. Subsequently, jellyfish mate and create a new polyp. What this jellyfish does is that it doesn't need another jellyfish to create a new polyp, but simply it becomes a polyp itself. This polyp returns to an area where it can sustain itself and starts again its life cycle, being the same individual. So, effectively, biologically, this is an immortal organism. The only problem is that it is very fragile and has many predators. This is why it's believed that none of them have lived a number of years high enough to be considered a record. And what about humans? Obviously, humans are not immortal beings. We don't usually pass 100. But I want you to know something. Every 5 years, all the atoms in your body are completely renewed by new atoms by metabolic processes that the cells make. This process creates a complete renovation of our body. That means that every 5 years, in a way, we are a new person. How many atoms do we have in our body? Well, to give you an idea, in just one cell, we have even more atoms than the number of stars in the Milky Way. And in our body, there are more atoms than stars in the observable universe. And quoting Bill Bryson in one of his books, A Short Story of Nearly Everything, calculations have been made, and given the incredible amount of atoms that we have in our body, it is estimated that we have about 1 billion atoms that belonged to Shakespeare. This is because of the large amount of atoms that are exchanged with the outside constantly. And what I explained, that every 5 years, all the atoms in your body are renewed by new ones. This maybe you can consider it a type of immortality. But that is up to you. I hope you really liked the video. If you liked it, subscribe if you haven't done so, leave a like, and that's it. Goodbye.